Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. It's a big weekend in St. Meinrad, Indiana. It's St. Meinrad Rocks. Joining us in the studio is Carol Troesch. Carol is the coordinator, and she runs Ink Spot Productions that puts on St. Meinrad Rocks.
Correct.
Also joining us is Marvin Ubelhor, better known as Mad Dog. All right, and he is here because there's music. St. Meinrad Rocks, the name tells you that, and everybody knows about the music somewhat, but there's also an art aspect. We're going to talk to Mad Dog about that a bit. First of all, Carol, what is St. Meinrad Rocks, and how did it start 10 years ago, which really was 11 years ago?
Exactly.
Okay.
This is our 10th year. It started in 2011. Actually, after our sesquicentennial year, we had started a paver memorial project. Needed some funds just to finish out the concrete, the flagpole, things like that. And so I just knew some musicians, and this kind of took root from there. And it's grown from that few hours, one-day indoor event to now a two-day completely outdoor event.
Okay, because it's Friday and Saturday of this weekend, the 24th, 25th?
Correct,
Okay.
yes,
All right.
yes.
Who performs and when do they start?
Well, we start at 6 o'clock Central Time on Friday. We'll kick off with Atlas of the Dogs, followed by Tony Henning, Joe Nobody, Freddie Bourne, and Muddy Earl on Friday. We've got two stages, so there's not a break in the music. It's just continuous.
Okay, and then on Saturday?
And then on Saturday, we start at 12:30. We'll start with the national anthem with Feel the Excitement, followed by Evie Mae, Uncle Pecos, Band Sold Separately, No Governor, The Flemings, Misty and Jason with The Hiding, Corey Sims, Dirty Tricks, Jordan Miller and Alexander Hellenberg, and Stackin' Eggs will round out the night.
Stacking eggs?
Stackin' Eights.
Oh, Stacking Eight. Oh,
Sorry.
Stacking Eight. Okay. I was thinking breakfast. That's right. Okay. Carol, this is really a mix of rock and country.
It is.
Right?
It is. We have a mix of genres. Occasionally, we will have a blues band in. This year, it's mostly rock and country. Yes.
Okay. And how much is the admission?
It's completely free.
That's what's amazing.
It is completely free. So I have a great sponsor listing. We're sponsored in part by Robert John and Associates, and then I've got another, just a huge cast of sponsors. So that's always a good thing. And then our funds that we raise for the town museum come from raffle sales, portion of the vendor sales, the beer garden sales, things like that. So that's where our funds come from.
Okay, now you mentioned vendors and you mentioned a beer garden.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. First of all, you have a vendor market on Saturday only.
Yes.
What sort of vendors?
We've got quite a mix. We've got some local honey being sold. We have a couple of artists that are setting up some original artwork. We have some of the vendors that are selling things like the 31 Gifts, Mary Kay, things like that. So it's kind of a mix.
Okay.
And that is Saturday afternoon in the grassy area of the park from 2 to 6.
Okay, and then there's a beer garden. Both nights?
Beer garden both nights, sponsored by Louis Tavern in Fulda this year. Okay. So if you intend to come, please bring your ID. There is no carry-in, no coolers allowed at the event, but we've got plenty of things that you can purchase. Okay,
now what's always important to people is food vendors.
Food vendors, very important. We've got more this year. If you've been there in the past, we've kind of increased that. So we'll have food trucks located on 2nd Street, which is right next to the park. This year we'll have Wood Capital Pizza, S&S Barbecue, The Cheese Queen, Be Original Dogs, and Barb's Mini Sauce will be with us this year.
Okay, now the weather's going to be great. Maybe a little chilly.
Yes.
So wear a sweatshirt or a jacket.
Exactly, but yes, we are very pleased with the weather forecast.
What do people need to bring? Lawn chairs, blankets? Do you allow canopies? What's the deal?
We generally do not want canopies just for viewing purposes. Sure. We do have some tables and chairs, of course, but you're more than welcome and encouraged to bring your own chair if you want to be comfortable. There's plenty of room to sit.
Okay, and then this is going on at the St. Meinrad Park. Now, I know St. Meinrad's not that big that you can't figure out where to go, but to help people out, where is the St. Meinrad Park?
Sure. It's located on 2nd Street, which is very close to Superior Ag and across from the Arch Abbey on 545. We are adjacent to the community center, so that's where the majority of the parking will take place.
Okay, and then is there also some field parking if they need to?
There will be. There will be. Around the ballpark, there is some, yes.
Is there one entrance, or is it just kind of come in from wherever you are?
Come in from both ends. 2nd Street will be closed this year because of the food trucks. That's where they'll all be located, but you can kind of access it from both areas, both sides.
Now, obviously, music is a big part of this, but Mad Dog does some artwork that is on display. Mad Dog, tell us about that.
Well, I really started out when I was young, and I loved cartooning my whole life. And then all of a sudden, my little sister grew up, and then she comes to see her, and she's like, "Hey, can you make a character for us?" And I thought it was just going to be a one-year deal. And so everybody thinks I'm kind of nuts, but I think I got all these eyeballs rolling around in my head. So I plucked out a pair, and I always start with my eyeballs in the drawing, and you work around it. And you don't know what you're going to come up with till it's done. So I had to put the guitar over. The first character was Ratty. We really didn't name it Ratty. Somebody else come up with the name Ratty because of St. Meinrad.
Okay.
And then every year after, we come up with a new character. Like and usually it relates to what happened to me or something happened that special that year. It's like this year we got called her Fingers. She's on a keyboard. And St. Meinrad years ago had a organ company, and a pipe organ factory, and it, just done now. But so the keyboard thing here, and I put it's called Heavenly Noise, keyboard company, St. Meinrad, Indiana, and I did the 2021 Brood X limited edition. That's where you got all your cicadas around there too, just to make special. That's what happened this year, So, and every year is just something different. Like I went to a rock concert one, went to Hailstorm, and the new lady there, then all of a sudden, she had black hair. We had the white streaks, red streaks. It went to different genres on the different performers that day, So it all kind of just relates to what's happening that year and stuff like that. So.
And these are all displayed along a fence?
Yes, these are all drawn up really small, and then I'd make a little smaller, the life-size fence, paint them up, bring them, more or less bring the characters to life where you can put a little more detail into them, and really, really special because actually one year we had one of them stole.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
So
Okay.
I guess somebody likes my work.
Okay, all right. So instead of 10 of them, there's going to be 9 on display.
No,
'cause one's
we had to
missing.
redo it.
Okay.
I made
Oh,
a new
okay.
one.
All right.
Yeah, with a little fewer improvements, so I guess it was a plus there, I guess. So.
Okay, now, as Carol mentioned, this is really a fundraiser, especially through the raffle, that you are raising funds for the town museum for St.
Yeah.
Meinrad. And you're involved in that.
Yes, it's kind of been my lifelong dream. I've been a collector of everything my whole life, and it seemed like this here's my destiny to put all the St. Meinrad stuff together. I've been collecting since 1985, and we had a big display in 2011. I got 150th anniversary on top of the Legion, and everybody, I wanted the wow effect, which I got. I couldn't walk 2 feet. Everybody go, "Oh my God, thank you," and shook my hand, pat on the back, all kind of stuff. So since that time, I've got some newer stuff yet too, or older stuff, I should say. And this is going to be a building I want to put up right beside my house, be behind the Spencer County Bank. And since I'm closing in on retirement, I wanted a place where I want to put all this stuff on display, and it'd be a place where I'm going to have a front porch where people would come down, look at all the stuff, start reminiscing, drink the beverage of their choice, and just shoot the bull, basically, just have a great time and reminisce,
Now, is it always the fundraiser for the town? Not really, because I guess the first year you're trying to get the concrete and the...
Right, the first couple of years were not. The very first year we finished out the paver project, and then after that, for 2 years, the funds were split between the community center and the park. Both, not-for-profit, run by volunteers kind of thing. So after that is when we started with the Future Town Museum.
Carol, how do you get the bands? How do you come up with the bands that play at St. Meinrad Rocks?
Well, initially, that very first year, it started because I knew some musicians. And so I was just making some random phone calls, giving them my half-baked idea, and it kind of built from that. At the very first fest, another band came up. I did not know these people came up and said, "Hey, we want to play next year," gave me the demo, and that was the best feeling. And so now it's kind of a mix. One musician leads to another musician. A lot of them do come to me, so it's just a variation of things, but I've really never had any trouble filling the roster. And they all volunteer their time, so I'm very thankful for what they do for me and for the cause.
It's a great mix of things. You had the Verdant Folk Fest, that's folk oriented for the most part, and then you have Country Music Fest. But this is really one of the few rock fests that I'm aware of, kind of like not a battle of the bands, but in a way it's a concert.
Right, it is a concert, and I do always shy away from the battle of the bands because I feel like the camaraderie that they have and the way they help each other and they've built on each other and they recommend it. There is in no way a competition,
right.
But it's kind of a different genre and different feel than what we've got in the area. So,
and you want people to know you can come and go as you please.
You definitely
because
can.
it is free admission, so you can come for
Sure.
an early act and come back for a late act.
Exactly, and very family friendly. So if you want to come in the afternoon, bring your kids to see Santa, who will be there with his sleigh this year. We have the Adopt-a-thon with the It Takes a Village. We'll have a face painter. We have a balloon artist. We have the Silly Safaris live animal show. So bring your kids in the afternoon, and then later, if you want to, come back and just enjoy the beer garden and the bands, yourself, that's fine too. So stay for an hour, stay for the day.
And basically, it's a Friday night and pretty well all day, afternoon, and evening Saturday.
Exactly.
Each night it goes till midnight?
Till about midnight.
Okay.
Yes.
And all the times we're talking about are Central Times.
Central Times
Beware
is
of that,
everything
that
listed.
it's
So
slow
if anybody
time.
wants the complete schedule, also it's available on our Facebook page, but everything is listed as Central.
All right. Well, anything else you would like to add?
I think that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to say. So I appreciate.
You have a Facebook page?
We do have
If
a
they want
Facebook
more
page.
information,
St.
they
Meinrad
can go
ROCKS
there.
Facebook
Okay.
page is the best place for all of the information.
All right. St. Meinrad Rocks is this Friday and Saturday at the St. Meinrad Park in St. Meinrad, Indiana. We want to thank our guest, Mad Dog Ubelhor, also Carol Troesch,
Thank you.
who is the coordinator for the St. Meinrad Rocks this weekend. Thanks for joining us on WJTS. We are local people watching local people.